Today's Reel to Reel is brought to you in part by Holy Family Passionist Retreat Center in West Hartford, Connecticut. Join us for a day, evening, or weekend retreat from now through June to nourish your spirit and renew your faith. For more information on men's and women's retreats, visit our website, holyfamilyretreat.org.
Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
There's a lot to celebrate this Catholic Schools Week and some fierce competition. I'm Carolyn McGrath. I'll have the story coming up.
I'm Steve Kiltonic at Pope Francis Prep, where I'll have the story of a teacher who's celebrating a half-century in education.
And Dan Dumas will have news briefs from throughout Western Massachusetts. It's just ahead on this edition of Reel to Reel as we wrap up Catholic Schools Week from St. Stanislaus Elementary School in Chicopee. Hello and welcome to Reel on this first weekend of February. This week was a very busy and exciting one for the 12 Catholic elementary and 2 high schools here in Western Massachusetts, including here at St. Stanislaus School in Chicopee as they marked Catholic Schools Week 2025. The celebration included special spirit days, open houses, lunches with grandparents, and celebratory masses. Carolee McGrath has been covering it all and has this wrap-up.
Bishop William Burns celebrated Mass at St. Agnes Parish in Dalton for all of the Berkshire County Catholic schools, St. Agnes Academy, St. Stanislaus Kostka School in Adams, and St. Mary's in Lee. The schools came together for Catholic Schools Week, which is celebrated each year across the country and highlights the many merits of Catholic education.
Catholic Schools Week is awesome because we get to celebrate the incredible gift of Catholic education. Ever since Mother Seton started a school in her living room and then the parochial school system grew throughout the country, this is the power of our church and forming the next generation, not just with great minds and strong bodies, but also their spirits, their souls.
At the end of Mass, all of the kids got up on the altar with Bishop and Zelly for a picture.
Catholic Schools Week is a great week that we celebrate throughout the country to celebrate everything that makes a Catholic school great. First of all, our Catholic identity, being able to pray, to have Jesus in our heart when we go to Mass, but also our academic excellence.
In Catholic schools, what's really important to me and what I love most about it is it's a small community, you know everyone.
What's special about Catholic schools for you?
The community, it just builds such a community because you all have something in common, you all share the religion, and I just love that aspect of it.
The students from all the schools then gathered inside St. Agnes Academy to play icebreaker games and to have a pizza lunch.
I like the Bishop's Mass and being able to see all the other schools and interact with peers.
We're really close with our friends, so it's nice to reach out and have that community bigger when we get to see all the schools.
Not only does Catholic Schools Week celebrate excellent academics and faith, but also fun, because everybody knows that Jesus is fun. These middle schoolers were mixing fun with fierce competition at St. Stanislaus School in Chicopee. St. Stan's had a sports day with the kids playing games and wearing their favorite jerseys. Why do you love Catholic school?
Because I have a Catholic faith based in me. I've been to church every weekend for many years, and this is a great community, and I love it here.
It's also a lot of fun. What's going on right now?
So we got a soccer game for our sports, for our Catholic Schools Week. Today's sports day, so we have soccer game and we have other events coming up later, but right now it's a soccer game between the 7th and 8th grade.
Friendly competition?
Yeah, mostly.
All of the Catholic schools had special games and themes throughout the week. It's fun being Catholic, right?
It is. It should be very joyful, and I feel like this day for the students is a very joyful, fun experience.
Bishop Byrne also celebrated Mass at Pope Francis Prep in Springfield for Catholic Schools Week. In his homily, he told a story about a lacrosse player at the University of Maryland that brought many people back to Mass. Bishop Byrne was the vocations director there at the time. Bishop told the students to be a disciple like Andy.
I want to be kind of like an Andy guy, let my actions speak for myself and, have people not know that I'm a Catholic because of a chain around my neck that I have a cross, but rather because of my actions and that kind of stuff, and bring people to Christ.
Amen. There are 3,028 students enrolled in Catholic schools in Western Massachusetts. Reporting for Reel to Reel, I'm Carolee McGrath.
It certainly was a week full of celebration. And if you are interested in learning more about a Catholic education for your child or grandchild, we have a link to all of the Catholic schools here in Western Massachusetts at diospringfield.org. And still to come on Reel to Reel, Dan Dumas will have the latest news briefs from throughout the Diocese of Springfield. And Steve Kiltonick introduces us to a longtime high school teacher whose love for teaching and science spans 5 decades. It's all still to come on Reel to Reel.
Today's Reel to Reel is brought to you in part by Holy Family Passionist Retreat Center in West Hartford, Connecticut. Join us for a day, evening, or weekend retreat from now through June to nourish your spirit and renew your faith. For more information on men's and women's retreats, visit our website, holyfamilyretreat.org.
Like Catholic TV on Facebook. Once you're there, you can join in on discussions, make friends with other Catholic TV fans, watch behind-the-scenes videos from the studio,
just finished this today,
and stay up to date with the Catholic world. All this at facebook.com/CatholicTV.
February 8th, 2025, join middle to high school youth from across the diocese for a special youth rally called The Path That Leads to You, featuring America's youngest bishop, national youth speaker, and rapper Bishop Joseph Espaillat. The youth rally is run by the Diocesan Youth Ambassadors, a group of high school youth from across the diocese who have been working together for nearly a year to put the creative event together. It will feature exciting games, live music, talks, and Eucharistic adoration. The February 8th event will take place at Pope Francis Prep High School in Springfield from 5:30 to 9 p.m. New this year, a special fun zone will open at 4 p.m. with games and concessions. For more information or to register, go to westernmasscatholic.org/youth-rally.
Hey, let's go!
You're invited!
Celebrate Jubilee Year 2025 through a very special Catholic Communications July pilgrimage to Italy and Rome. Join pilgrimage leader Father Gary Daly for this 11-day spiritual journey, July 6th to the 17th. That will include visits to Assisi, Orvieto, Loreto, Lanciano, San Giovanni Rotondo, Mont Sant'Angelo, Pompeii, Sorrento, and Capri, concluding with Rome, where pilgrims will have the opportunity to pass through the holy doors and gain a plenary indulgence. Space is limited. More information can be found at the Jubilee website at diospringfield.org or call 413-452-0643. Don't miss out on this very special spiritual opportunity.
The Jubilee for the World of Communications brought together thousands of Catholic journalists and church communicators, both professional and amateur, from across the globe. The event featured prayer, conferences, and a special audience with Pope Francis on January 25th. At sunrise, pilgrims, organized into groups, processed through St. Peter's Square and crossed the threshold of the Holy Door, many of them documenting the journey on their phones.
So going through the Holy Door, that was something very special. I think I cried for 10 minutes afterwards, just also seeing the inside of the basilica and being very, very touched by the art and just in awe. It was very actually overwhelming, but I think I will remember it for a long time.
My main calling is missionary calling, I guess. So actually the whole side of my life is to go on a mission. Film director, youth worker, okay, but I want to touch people directly to go on a mission. This is exactly that, and mission and communication goes together.
You know, I'm reminded at Pentecost it was the Holy Spirit that came and gave us the ability to speak and gave us that breath and that courage. So I've been blessed so far, and as all others here, to think about that prayerfully, and I hope people do have the opportunity to bring this forth from their spirit, not just from their gadgets or their skill set or their desire to connect with others, but how is this something from the Spirit?
Later that morning, Pope Francis set aside his prepared remarks to deliver an impromptu message, urging communicators not only to share the truth, but also to embody authenticity in their lives and work.
Il vostro lavoro è un lavoro che costruisce la società, costruisce la Chiesa, fa andare avanti tutti, a patto che sia vero. Padre, io sempre dico le cose vere, ma tu sei vero? Non solo le cose che tu dici, ma tu nel tuo interiore, nella tua vita sei vero.
Here are some upcoming events in the Diocese of Springfield. The Faith Formation Program at St. Michael's Parish in East Longmeadow will hold a drive-through can drive for the East Longmeadow Food Pantry on Sunday, February 9th from 8:45 a.m. till noon. Items can be dropped off at the St. Michael's Church parking lot at 128 Maple Street. The pantry is welcoming donations of bread, crackers, condiments, peanut butter and jelly, pasta sauce, canned proteins, oatmeal, cereal, and dried canned fruits and nuts. Donations of household items like toilet paper and Kleenex, women's sanitary products, and cleaning supplies are also needed. And as part of the Jubilee Year of Hope, St. Stanislaus Basilica in Chicopee is hosting a special evening celebrating Mary, Mother of Hope, on Tuesday, February 11th, the Feast of Our Lady of Lourdes. This inspiring event will begin at 6 p.m. with a scriptural rosary reflecting on the joyful mysteries, including a Marian presentation by conventual Franciscan friar Father James McCurry, and a selection of Marian hymns. The evening will take place at the Basilica of St. Stanislaus, 566 Front Street in Chicopee, and will conclude with a light reception. All are welcome to come and experience the hope and joy of this Jubilee year. And St. Bridget Parish in Amherst presents St. Valentine Dance and Dinner with Father Valentine Noora on Friday, February 14th. The event will be held at the Pastoral Center at 43 North Prospect Street. Join the parish for a fun night of dancing and food celebrating St. Valentine's Day. Donations are $50 per person or $90 per couple. For tickets and more information, call 413-256-6181 or email stbridgetsamherst@gmail.com. For more information on these events and others in the Diocese of Springfield, we have a link at diospringfield.org.
I'm Dan Dumas with your Reel to Reel news briefs. The annual March for Life took to the streets of our nation's capital, and among those in attendance was a delegation from St. Mary's High School in Westfield. Carolee McGrath has that story.
As they do each year, juniors and seniors from St. Mary's High School in Westfield traveled to the nation's capital for the annual March for Life. The March for Life commemorates the 52nd anniversary of Roe v. Wade, which legalized abortion on demand in the U.S.
I loved it. It's my 4th year that I've been, so I know what to expect, and I love how you have all the crowds there, and you just see so many people, especially when walking up the big hill. Like if you turn around, there's crowds and crowds of people.
Vice President J.D. Vance, who converted to Catholicism, was one of the speakers. So was Bethany Hamilton, a professional surfer, author, and motivational speaker. The U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June of 2022. The ruling did not ban abortion, but rather gives the power back to the states. Massachusetts has one of the most progressive abortion laws in the country.
The trip this year was really hopeful. I felt like there's a lot of opportunities in our culture right now that people are open to the possibility of life, maybe more than they've been in the past. So now we're seeing the hope in the eyes of the students and the people that are participating in the march every year. On some level, people maybe don't see the benefit of the march now that Roe v. Wade's been overturned. But I think marching each year and being a witness to the culture of life, trying to change hearts and minds, is still really important for our country.
A local March for Life was also held in the Diocese of Springfield last week. In Springfield, I'm Carolee McGrath.
Thanks, Carolee. In other news, the Massachusetts Liberty Legal Center filed a first-of-its-kind defamation lawsuit on Wednesday on behalf of Bethlehem House Pregnancy Resource Center in East Hampton. The suit seeks damages and injunctive relief against Reproductive Equity Now, a pro-abortion group. In a statement released to news outlets, the legal aid group claimed that Reproductive Equity Now's statement about Bethlehem House have damaged its reputation and caused significant emotional distress to its volunteer staff who are simply trying to help women and babies. We have more on this lawsuit at iobserve.org. Well, once again, the Springfield Thunderbirds AHL hockey team held its annual Faith and Family Night at the Mass Mutual Center. Just before Catholic Schools Week, our Catholic school students and students from parishes across the diocese packed the Mass Mutual Center to watch the Thunderbirds take on the Providence Bruins. St. Mary's Academy in Longmeadow kicked the night off with the national anthem. Students from St. John the Baptist and St. Joan of Arc schools also performed patriotic songs. Bishop Byrne, accompanied by Catholic School Superintendent Maria Wagner, and Zelly, of course, dropped the puck. It was also First Responders Night, with many area fire, police, and EMT crews in attendance. Thunderbirds lost to the Bruins in overtime. And the next day, Bishop Byrne swapped the hockey puck for a bowling ball. Nick Morganelli has that story.
French King Bowling Center is always busy with the sound of the candlepins. But for this second annual Bowling with the Bishop, youth from several Franklin County churches offered a few strikes, spares, and prayers. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Bishop Byrne made sure to meet as many of these confirmandi as he could.
How are you? Oh my gosh, good to see you. To realize that our faith is not just going to church, it's about community, it's about supporting one another, it's about being family together.
Sixth grader from Holy Trinity in Greenfield, Nick Cottrell, participated for the first time this year.
It's a really nice environment, like you said, being among other Christians and Catholics. And it's really cool because you get to meet the bishop and just kind of hang out with your friends. Really fun and really cool.
Heidi Helenek felt the same way.
I love the bishop and I love bowling, so I was like, yeah,
Might as well, you know, and it's just like a fun thing to do.
Already confirmed, she participated to support her younger brother, Simon.
My little brother, he's with all of his friends, and they're all just like getting confirmed themselves. And I like to like be with them, you know, they're all great kids.
Laura Bezio is an avid bowler, but she's also a confirmation teacher at Our Lady of Peace in Turners Falls. She sees the benefit for the youth to come together for these events outside of church.
We talk about community so much, and sometimes it's hard to be Catholic, and it's hard to admit that you're Catholic. So it's really nice for a youth to see other youth practicing their faith and hanging out together with common interests. So I think that, above all, is sort of helping grow community.
And the Catholic youth from Franklin County can expect to see more events on the calendar to enjoy a fun time with faithful friends, teachers, and clergy.
We're going to get Zelly up on the lanes.
Oh, right, and Zelly too. Maybe Bishop Byrne can train her to roll a ball for next year. From Reel to Reel, I'm Nick Morganelli.
And finally, congratulations are in order for Mary's Meadow, the short and long-term healthcare facility in Holyoke. U.S. World and News Report named Mary's Meadow as among the best nursing homes in the nation, earning the status by achieving a rating of high performing, the highest possible rating for short-term rehabilitation and long-term care. Mary's Meadow was founded by the Sisters of Providence and is now part of Trinity Senior Communities. Congratulations. We have an article on this recognition at iobserve.org, where you can read more on this and other stories, including articles from our Catholic communication staff, as well as on-demand episodes of Reel to Reel. That's iobserve.org. I'm Dan Dumas, and those were your Reel to Reel news briefs.
Bob Broder has been quietly teaching various sciences, first at the former Cathedral High School in Springfield, then at Pope Francis Prep, now for 50 years. Over the years, he has been selected for numerous awards, both locally and statewide, for his teaching excellence, as well as his dedication to the school and students. Steve Kiltonick spoke to Bob recently about his longtime teaching career and his love of science. He has our story.
It's a cold January afternoon at Pope Francis Preparatory School, and students have settled in on Bob Broder's oceanography class. It's one of the many science subjects Bob teaches here, including honors biology, anatomy and physiology, as well as ecosystems and sustainability. Broder's 50-year teaching career began at Cathedral High in 1975 and continued on at Pope Francis. Bob became fascinated with science at an early age, and then was inspired by Sister of St. Joseph at Cathedral High, then a famous oceanographer.
I was motivated, to tell the truth, by my high school biology teacher. Had her for 2 years in high school at Cathedral, and she's the one who got me motivated into the biological sciences.
That teacher was Sister Marilyn Logan, a member of the science department who taught biology.
Combination of her enthusiasm in the topic in biology and just her relaxed teaching style, but she was interested in the students succeeding.
Broder graduated from Cathedral in 1970 and went on to get a bachelor's in biology from Westfield State before doing grad work at Cornell, Scholl's Marine Lab, and Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute. Bob explained why he chose teaching for a career instead of a lab environment.
I like the interaction with people, and especially students. I enjoy working with the students. I think it's more beneficial. You get more feedback working with kids than you would in a lab situation.
Bob's lifelong love of oceanography was also instilled early on.
What probably got me interested in oceanography is Jacques Cousteau, and I did meet one of his sons at a lecture once, and just having that one-to-one contact really motivated me.
In 2010, Broder was honored with a Pioneer Valley Excellence in Teaching Award, and in 2017 was recognized by the state for his role in the school's energy and environmental science education program. Throughout his classroom are scattered environmental plaques for students to ponder, along with various artifacts accumulated over decades of teaching.
The 10 is the start. The 60 is the stop. So you guys are running it 50 centimeters. So it'll be time over that distance when you're...
Bob explained what his oceanography class is working on.
Currently studying how life adapts to the ocean environment. So they've been studying the physical factors, temperature, density of the water. So they're actually doing a hydrodynamics lab today where they're modeling First off, geometric shapes, see how well they move through the water, and then from those shapes they're going to model fish, and then time how well they move through the water.
Over a 50-year span, technology hasn't changed Bob's teaching style, which has evolved from the blackboard and overhead transparencies to computers and PowerPoint presentations. Senior Ellie Hanachek took Bob's freshman honors biology class and later anatomy and physiology. She failed to study for her first Broder biology test and paid the price.
It was the hardest thing I have ever done in my entire life. And I would say that Mr. Broder is really a teacher who impresses the importance of learning a subject and really studying it yourself instead of just learning for a test. My favorite part about his classes are his deadpan humor. He makes a lot of jokes that if you're not really into science, you kind of don't understand what he's talking about.
Ellie was recently named a 2025 Regeneron Science Talent Search Scholar, a prestigious award given to a select 300 students worldwide. Her project involved developing a microbial system for converting plastic waste into fertilizer and drinkable water. As Ellie's advisor, Bob helped her achieve an independent study status for the project, which included his daily support, writing recommendations, and even visiting her at the UMass lab where she conducts research.
I was surprised that he was that enthusiastic and so prepared and fervent in his pursuit of this independent study for me, because he had to come up with an entire grading system and paperwork and everything to make sure that it was legitimate. He really looks at his class and doesn't just see a bunch of people who are trying to graduate high school. He looks at people and thinks of them as the future leaders.
John Anziano, director of campus ministry, was a freshman biology student of Broder's at Cathedral.
What we were learning and the way Mr. Broder would present it to us, there was always something practical about it. It wasn't just about the terms and the science itself. It was, how do we use this? How is this used today?
When Anziano started teaching at Cathedral, Bob was a role model.
What impresses me the most is the students always come first with Bob, and I think that's the biggest lesson he's taught me as a teacher. His willingness to stay after school, to come early, to work with students that might be struggling in his class.
Whether one pursues science as a career or not, Bob feels a science background is important.
Whether it's environmental, things about drug regulation or whatever, and people are voting on these things. And I think the kids need to be more aware of issues like that that are going to impact their daily lives.
For those who may think retirement is looming on the horizon for Bob,
I plan on at least a couple more years, possibly full-time, and if I'm able to keep part-time, I think I would be bored if I was retired. So I'll keep going as long as I can.
That's good news for future Pope Francis students, who will continue to benefit from, as Anziano says, Bob's incredible love for science. For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
Congratulations, Bob Broder, and thanks for your many years of dedication to teaching generations of young people. And for this week, that's Real to Real. Thank you so much to the teachers and staff here at St. Stanislaus School for hosting our visit today. And be sure to follow the latest news of the Catholic Church, both here in Western Massachusetts and around the world on our news and information site, iobserve.org. There you will find articles prepared by our Catholic Communications reporting team and our partners at Our Sunday Visitor. That's iobserve.org. And we are also on Facebook. You can follow us there at Catholic Communications. I will see you at this same time next week for another edition of Real to Real, your window on the world around you. Have a great week.
Real to Real is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.